Let's read this, and then we can get to the point. The thing is, guys, I can tell you that I know exactly everything that went down. So let's see if this is with good information or not, okay? This is TLDR of information given by Eros. Yamato's left out because his contract ran out after 2 years and a huge failure in 2022. They are promoting Crusher because from previous rumors he helped the LEC team during summer. He was a good prospect in ERL. Wunder and Huma wanted Upset out, and additionally Hilly because of summer and tournament he had. Well, this is not true. This is not true. So they locked Rocks because he had good synergy with Topside during play-ins and personality-wise too. This I don't know is true, if it's true or not, because I can tell you this much. It's like Fnatic management wanted me to, like, they were pushing me to bench Hilly for whole worlds to make Rocks play. So, like, I obviously fought that, and I said, if we make this decision, then fire me on the spot, because I will not live by this. Locking Rocks early meant that Fnatic couldn't get Hansama Mickey, nor Exa Kick, that chose comfort and wanted to play with DOS. Then Kazi didn't want to risk his career, and Fnatic decided to go back to Mad. Therefore, Kaiser Kazi are traded. Potential Upset deal with Vitality is doomed. Upset is benched, and Neon got the ADC spot. They have the choice between Flacket and Reckless, and brought back Reckless. Okay, I don't know about this. Disaster happened each games with Disaster, and they ended 9th, and everyone has been in panic mode since. Wunder and Razak Humor don't want to play with Rex and Rocks anymore. It's an unofficial off-season. It's impossible to have players from ERL or another region. Only possibilities are the Academy, Upset is still contract, and free agents. From what I'm aware, we're not remotely holding Upset in jail, just nobody wants to buy. I don't know who the fuck this is. Who the fuck is Owen? First plan is to replace Reckless and Rux by Upset and Advienne, but Upset refuses to play because he doesn't believe in the team. Reckless stuck in the roster, no other replacement, branding, other financial market, Oscar in the Sorted tryouts. As far as I know, this is not true. I wonder the Rocks didn't want to play in Academy. Crusher overrun by all of this, Mental boomed and quit. I don't know about this. I Wonder decided to leave Fnatic, Rux decided to leave Fnatic, probably retire. Current rosters, nothing locked. Okay, so I don't know what the fuck this is. Who gives a fuck about this, man? This was a waste of time. Now, for my opinions. Looking at the facts. Yeah, as far as I know, there was no tryouts. So, looking at the facts, it's like often when people look at a management from the outside and a change occurs, they're assuming that the management wanted that change to happen. I want to preface this by either way, it is a gross mismanagement that either your player doesn't want to play for you or you're planning not to play him. And that is in the case of two signed players, Wunder and Upset. If you look at it without any information, inside information that I'm privy to, right? There's either they've decided not to play them or they just don't want to play. Both cases is a fucking disaster. Both cases is big mismanagement. Both cases. If they decided to bench Wunder or if Wunder no longer wants to play, mismanagement. Disastrous. If they're deciding to bench Upset or Upset doesn't want to play, both cases. Insane mismanagement. The next layer, right? To make changes from winter to spring, you don't have many options. Very little time, okay? Very little time. And all of the ERLs are still in season. You cannot make any drastic changes. You have to make do with what you have. An additional layer to this is that you set up your budget in a way, and your budget is very tight, it doesn't prepare for situations like this. It just doesn't. Your budget does not prepare for situations like this. So expecting big changes between spring and winter, very tough. There is no way spring can be used to be like rising from the ashes and they're gonna win the split. The odds of that is like non-existent. Finally, they got both of these homies, they got caught up in the storm, you know. This is the life of the business, right? It's like the head coach should be replaced. I don't know much about Crusher. I have no resentment towards Crusher. It is what it is. You know, what should I say on this? Anything that I say on this is kind of fucking strange to come from me because I was the previous coach, right? What can I say on this topic? Rux, you know, Rux leveraged his stock value went through the roof, right? After 2 games at the World Championship in the Fnatic management, and he got his shot and he couldn't make it work. And you need to make some changes here, right? And you need to look at what you can do. And I think from outside this makes sense, you know? Feel bad for the guy, you know? He was essential, very important to us at the World Championship last year. And, you know, it's just one of those cases where you go from a player like Hilly and then you put Rocks in there. And then the main thing, right, is like the last ERL split that the boys played in Fnatic TQ was not a good one. They had their own disasters. They had their own issues. And they came in now to a Fnatic roster After not being able to solve the problems in ERLs, they were inheriting the issues from the roster from the year before that I was a part of. And in no shape or form would I say that, oh, I can solve every issue and make everyone play good, right? It's like a lot of things I reflect on the previous year, and I know that I could do better, but there's a lot of things that I was proud of, and I walked away knowing that I did absolutely everything I could. And I can stand on my own 2 feet on the ground, always being able to say this. This is what I pride myself upon. And then now they are looking to get Advian in and Oscarinin in. It's like this split is just a rebuild split, right? It's not. It's like it's a very, very disappointing situation, because you have a situation where you have very strong players signed, but they don't want to play, or you're not planning to play them, right? And either way, it's a disaster. And then maybe when you move into summer, maybe there's some opportunities there that you can move on to, right? But it's very hard to predict. It's just that for most of these teams, between winter and spring, you gotta look at some things, and then. It's always, it's like from the information that you have from outside, I think the issue always, right, it's like all of the players that have done so much for Fnatic, they aren't valued. They aren't appreciated, and there's players that come, they put their heart on the line and give everything, and then they leave feeling resentment.
And I'm sad I just look at someone else suffering, and then I'm like, my life is not so bad. I could be Dardo, the general manager of Fnatic, who makes every team finish 10th place. H2K Origin and now Fnatic. Speedrunning to 10th. It's actually impressive though. It's actually impressive how like somebody who like makes 2 orgs before 10th gets a job in like a high tier organization. And makes them also go 10th.
The bottom line is, Fnatic have a great opportunity to finally learn what is very important. Great opportunity for Fnatic to finally learn and figure out what is important. There's just a pattern, right? It's like, I don't need to say it, because each and one of you out there, if you just look at the patterns of the previous years, you can easily establish the pattern, and I don't need to say it. Is there a possibility that you return to Spring as a head coach again? I've set my conditions. I don't think that my conditions can be met. I know my position, and I am already in talks with very interesting projects, and I know my position, and I know my value, and I will demand appropriately to that. Because I can tell you this much, right? I am a person that when I join a team, I stay in that team to believe in this idea that I would stay in that team forever. That I will stay in that team forever. And with that comes, okay? With that comes the fundamental idea that I'm going to care and be passionate about every aspect of performance. And when I speak up about things, and things are occurring in my home, in my house, I need to feel that we are aligned. We have the same values, we have the same principles, and we care about the right things. And that's where my demands come in. I don't think my demands can be met on the short term. I still believe Fnatic can be a very, very strong organization. I still believe that they can learn from this. I still believe that they can bounce back from this. I still believe that there's potential there. But you can no longer wave the magical wand that is the glory of the past. Because in the glory of the past, there was a lot of people that are no longer involved in the project that have come and they did their best and they have gone. Main thing is, like everyone's asking, will I come back? Well, I've set my conditions and I doubt that they're going to be achieved, right? I think for spring, Fnatic can't make any drastic changes. For summer, maybe. And then, you know, they need to start everything over again. And once again, I repeat, I believe that Fnatic can be great again. You know, I believe so. Maybe if not now, maybe after 2024, I'll work together again with Fnatic. I know that what I can contribute, and I know the inside out of the situation. I have great relationships with all of the players, and you know, it is what it is. You think they can really attract good players after the Wunder Upset stuff? I think it's just about the trend and the pattern. You can no longer say. It's like in the past when people viewed Fnatic in a light where, oh, I want to go there because I want to win and I want to compete. But that magic is gone. Like all of those players that got attracted to that and coaching staff that got attracted to that, because I was, it's no longer there. No one's gonna buy that. No one's gonna buy that. So you need to figure out other ways. Last year's roster definitely needed to change. It couldn't stay the same. I can tell you that much. Last year's roster couldn't stay the same. It was not compatible. And we needed to make a change, right? It's like, I went through that year. In spring, we started off very late within the practice and off season, and we had a lot of issues. I don't want to pinpoint them. I don't want to start the conversation again. In summer, the accumulation of spring was a big snowball that chased us into summer. So, as a coach, you're always faced with the decision. Do you break your own principles and make compromises you don't believe in for the sake of the next coming weekend? Or do you break everything apart and rebuild anew in hopes for something better? And that was the difficult choice I had to do always, because we were chasing playoffs. And then we are chasing every best of 5. Every best of 5, we are chasing something. We're just chasing something. We have to perform or we're out. We have to perform or we're out. So that's what it came down to. I was making compromises and letting some things slide just for the sake of the comfortability of the group and some individual players. And then eventually you get to the point where you're at the World Championship and you have a group of players where you're better off, you know, it's just patch everything together. You just patch everything together. And I hate to say it, guys, but I think the Azir Lucian Nami meta, that's all me, baby. I figured that out last year. And now everyone's just following along. I figured that out last year, baby. It's the Fnatic YamatoCannon draft. Why are they picking Lucian Nami in every game? Nice. But I think that's all I can say, guys. While being as diplomatic as possible.